In this video, we're going to show you to install a passenger side fuel level sending unit on your Toyota Camry located inside the fuel tank. Now in the rear of the vehicle, the best way to do this here is make sure both the driver and passenger seats are pushed all the way forward. Now I want to get lift up on the back seat here because that's where our fuel pump is going to be located. You're going to go right between the edge of the carpet and the base of the seat, and there's going to be a release clip right here. Pop that up, and there's going to be one on the driver's side. Repeat there. And we're going to pull up that seat, and we're going to pull this over to the driver's side. You can go ahead and stretch that seat belt out and just pull that seat cushion over and set it over there. Right here on the floor pan is going to be our transfer unit here on the passenger side. Let's go ahead and get to it. Now I want to lift up this cover. Now there's a self-sealing adhesive underneath holding this lid. I'm going to start with a pocket screwdriver, a little flathead screwdriver, and just get up underneath the edge here and gently lift. Then I'm going to switch over to a plastic trim tool so I can get underneath here a little bit better. And let's peel this up. With that separated, I'm going to go ahead and push this rubber grommet through. Just roll the edges in. And let's go ahead and pull this off to the side like so. Now there is one connector right here. I want to go ahead and disconnect this here. Just pinch this little tab. Should be able to pull that right off. Sometimes it can be a little bugger. I'm going to use my pocket screwdriver and to push on this to release this. And then lift this up. Pop that off. Before you dig into this here and expose the internals of the fuel tank, be sure to spray this down and clean it with some solvent. Use a vacuum if you need to, or a compressed air to clean this up. So here's a little lock tab. We need to push in on this and lift this up. Now, it's going to be best if you use a pick. It's going to help get that up and out. Now we're going to use our brass punch to go ahead and tap on the lock ring itself to turn this counterclockwise. Before you pop this off, you want to make note that the lock ring itself has an arrow pointing at the little white lock tab on the fuel pump assembly itself. So when installing the lock ring, make sure that that arrow, when you lock it, is facing that lock tab on the fuel pump assembly. Use a brass punch. You don't want to use a screwdriver and create a spark, as we are going to have fuel vapors exposed. Now this is spring loaded. You can see it just kind of pushes up. Good, remove the lock ring, we'll set that aside. Now as we lift this unit up, there's going to be a float, and there's also going to be a line, a hose down inside we need to disconnect. Now right here is the transfer hose, and there are two little pinch tabs. There's one that's on the top here, one on the bottom, and you just got to get your hand in there, pinch those, and pull this hose off. Separate that, swing that up and out. Go ahead and remove the O-ring. Now you want to go ahead and clean where the O-ring seat is. Make sure if there's any debris on there that you're wiping it away from the tank itself. You don't want any debris falling down inside there. Go ahead and grab the O-ring, line that up, drop it in a position. Make sure it fits right inside the groove all the way around. Grab the center unit, drop in the float level first, rotate it in. Now we need to go ahead and grab that transfer hose and connector and pop it back onto this port. And then squeeze it into position. You're going to hear it and feel it engage. Lower this down into position. Go ahead and grab that lock ring. Go ahead and compress this unit. You want to make note that the tab here lines up with the tank notch itself. And there's going to be one on the other side too that lines up. Drop that into position. Get that lock ring positioned. Start to rotate that clockwise. And we're going to use our brass punch to lock this back in a position. Work your way around evenly. You make sure that the lock ring tab itself is fully seated and at the stopping point there. Grab that electrical connector and line this up. Press it until you hear it snap into position. After you get the connector on, go ahead and grab that lock tab here for the lock ring. Line that up and simply press it down into position, locking that in. Bring the grommet out towards you and get that cover lined up. Now there's going to be notches in the cover itself, and there's going to be raised dimples on the sheet metal on the floor pan. Simply line that cover up with those dimples and those notches. Work the wire harness inside, and then gently work that rubber grommet in a position, working its edges down and in. You're going to feel it seat perfectly. Let's go ahead and install the seat. Now installing the back seat, we need to line this up. Make sure our seatbelt is pulled through this portion here. Insert the back first, pushing that in as far as it'll go. Line up the tabs on the front and just press them down.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.